Hello everyone, very warm welcome to all of you on the platform of KSG India. My name is Akhilesh and today I am going to discuss about the evolution of atmosphere. In the last video we have seen that Earth was given a primordial atmosphere that was composed of helium and hydrogen. Slowly and gradually this primordial atmosphere was stripped off from the Earth despite of having gravity because of the stronger solar radiations which we call solar storms. And then there was layering started because there was a ardent need of magnetism around the earth so that this atmosphere can be kept safer for further use. I am going to discuss what kind of use will be there. Fine. So then there was formation of core because of the sustained fusion reaction. Heavy elements were formed and they start accumulating near the center. And in this way, the nickel iron containing core was formed. And not only this, the outer core as well as mantle and crust formation have taken place slowly and gradually. When this core and outer core was formed, the earth acquired magnetism. And around the earth there is a strong magnetic field developed which was responsible for and which is responsible for saving our environment. It acts as a protecting cover by diverting the solar storms. What happened next? There was degassing have taken place, cooling was there, and every time the crust formation is taking place and the interstitials which was having this gas as well as water vapor inside, these are coming out and the process is called as degassing. Lot of volcanic eruptions have taken place simultaneously with the water vapor going up, getting cooled, condensed, and there is a rain, and this rainfall continues to be there for almost 500 million years. And this water is having a property. I told you it has an anomalous behavior. This water is going to absorb some amount of heat, then only it is going to change its phase, which we call latent heat. So every time when water is falling on the earth's surface, taking the heat in form of latent heat, going up, get condensed, then going for the rainfall. And this continuation, this kind of rainfall continued to be there on the earth for at least 500 million years. And in the process, there was evaporation, then condensation. The rate of heat released to the space was multifold, increased multifold, and then the earth get cooled. So we are having the primitive atmosphere that was reducing in nature. And let me give you the idea through the images. Suppose that this is the earth surface and this earth is at very high temperature, say for example 5000 degrees centigrade to 6000 degrees centigrade temperature, initial temperature. And when layering happened and the degassing was taking place, this representing the degassing phase, degassing, and due to degassing the primitive atmosphere was formed. This was primitive atmosphere. As temperature was so high and primitive atmosphere was containing mainly methane, ammonia, some amount of carbon dioxide too, and abundance of water vapor. This water vapor was in abundance and this was in vapor form. Fine. So what happened after degassing? This was the primitive atmosphere which was formed, and this primitive atmosphere was having the protection covering of the magnetosphere. Now the solar storms are no longer sufficient enough to stripe off this primitive atmosphere. That means this primitive atmosphere have got sustenance on the earth. Earlier, despite of having gravity, the earth was deprived of its atmosphere. The atmosphere was striped off. But now, same solar storm is not going to affect the atmosphere present on the earth. This presence was not altered at all. That means if UPSC is asking to you what is more important to have the atmosphere, indeed the gravity is primarily important. But beyond that, you also require magnetism too. So earth has atmosphere because of gravity as well as its magnetosphere. Despite of gravity, earth was stripped of atmosphere. So ultimately, without gravity, without magnetism, earth was not going to have this atmosphere. So this is also perfectly correct. Fine. What happened after this water vapor continuously going up, and when water vapor goes up, it get cooled, and due to cooling, what happened? There is condensation. Condensation occurs, and after condensation, there is a continuous rainfall that is taking place. And this rainfall is coming on to the earth's surface. You can simulate this process just like the रोटी बनाने के बाद जो आपका तवा है गर्म हो जाता है, उस पर अगर आप पानी डालें, so there will be rapid evaporation. This is a kind of process which was going on. And what happened? Suppose that this is the earth's surface. When there is rainfall, after condensation, when there is rainfall, immediately this rainfall is changed into vapor phase, and again it goes up, start going up. Immediately this evaporation is going on. In the process, what happened? Water molecule absorb the heat which is present in the earth. And what is that heat? Latent heat of vaporization. Latent heat of vaporization. And that is what? 540 calorie per gram. And this heat was absorbed by the water molecule, and again it goes up, get cooled, further condensation. Condensation. And when this condensation occurs, this heat which is absorbed in form of latent heat radiated back to the space. Radiated back to the space. So this is what? Heat radiated back to the space. And this will do what? This will enhance the rate of cooling of the earth's surface. Every time the water is falling in form of rain, drops get evaporated, absorbing this latent heat of vaporization, get condensed, releasing the heat, latent heat of condensation, and then again there is rainfall. And this cycle, this rainfall cycle continues for 500 million years. 500 million years continuous rainfall was taking place. And in this process, the main thing which was happening over there was cooling of the earth's surface. So cooling occurs. And after cooling, what happened? There is primitive atmosphere which was present over here. It is full of turbulence indeed. There was continuous rainfall that is taking place. And more than that, what happened? This crust get cooled. And not only cooled but contracted. So there was a cooling in the earth crust, and along with that cooling, contraction occurs. So cooling of earth's crust, and due to cooling there was contraction. You have this thermal contraction and thermal expansion. When there is high temperature, there is increase in temperature, things or substance get expanded. that is called as thermal expansion, and if the temperature lower down, then the substance get it get reduced, so that is called as thermal contraction. So contraction occurs, and as you know, this earth crust is going to have variables of minerals, so the rate of contraction is also going to be vary. And due to this contraction, some part of the earth get elevated and some part of the earth get depressed. The depressed part have created first order landform that we call ocean basins, while the elevated part is called as continents. So how the first order landform were created? The first theory that is explaining is also called as contraction theory. And how this contraction happened? Because of the cooling of the earth surface. Why this cooling have taken place? Because of radiation. The earth is radiating it. Indeed, apart from that, this continuous rainfall for 500 million years. And when these all things were happening in a reducing atmosphere, there was one thing more which was going on, and that is called as chemosynthesis of life. That means this entire process have led to the formation of life. When this entire thing were happening over there, this means if we have a chronology, so almost 4.5 billion year back, this was the birthday of earth, means almost this is the time when earth was created, and from 4.5 to 3 billion years, this was the time when primitive atmosphere was there. Primitive atmosphere. Fine. So it started developing from here. So this 4.5 to 3 billion, almost 1.5 billion year elapsed in the formation of this primitive atmosphere. That means vanishing of primordial atmosphere up to this primitive atmosphere state, it have taken almost 1.5 billion years. And during this 1.5 billion year, what was going on? Cooling was going on, stratification was going on. That means formation of core, outer core, mantle and crust. This stratification was going on, and not only this, degassing was going on. Degassing. And after degassing, there was a continuous rainfall that is also taking place. So it is also adding to this cooling. And the most important thing that happened in this phase was chemosynthesis of organic material. What I said? Chemosynthesis of organic material, which was the basic of origin of life. That means everything which was required for origin of life has been taking place in this phase. That means from primordial atmosphere to evolution of primitive atmosphere, this was taking place. And what happened in primitive atmosphere that life was formed? This will be answered in the next video. Thank you very much.